For more than 3 billion years, the story of life was written exclusively in water. It was only after this immense span of time that the very first animal ventured onto solid ground. From the very dawn of our world, life had already claimed every corner of the ocean, from the crushing pressures of the abyss to the sunlit surface. It flourished in the warmth of tropical seas and endured in the frozen desolation of the poles. It adapted to the shallow coasts and conquered the vast, deep ocean. At first glance, the sandy plains of the seabed appear desolate, an empty desert beneath the waves. A crab scurries across the open expanse. Here, to linger is to be seen, and to be seen is to be vulnerable. On these vast, exposed flats, there are no crevices to shelter in, no forests to disappear into. The only viable defense is to vanish entirely. With a flurry of legs, it submerges itself, leaving only its stalked eyes exposed to scan for danger. The stargazer, looking for all the world like a living rock, seems conspicuously out of place on the sand. Its unsettling, upward-facing visage has earned it the ominous nickname, the devil fish. As an unsuspecting fish drifts by, the stargazer begins its subtle work, using two finger-like pectoral fins to grip and shift the sand. It meticulously buries itself, transforming from a visible threat into a hidden trap. Whether predator or prey, large or small, life on the sandy plains is governed by a single, immutable law: use the sand itself as your sanctuary. The razorfish has adopted a peculiar, head-down posture, allowing it to pick out microscopic animals hidden between the grains of sand. While some fish seem to dance on their heads, others have forgotten how to swim, opting instead to walk across the seabed. Evolution, it seems, is not afraid to experiment with every conceivable form of existence. Garden eels employ yet another strategy for feeding in this exposed world. Rising from their burrows, they form a living meadow, swaying in the current to catch tiny crustaceans that drift past. But at the slightest sign of danger, the entire colony vanishes as one, retracting instantly into the safety of their sandy homes. At the entrance to this unassuming burrow, a pair of gobies stand guard, their eyes constantly scanning the perimeter. Deep within, their partner, a pistol shrimp, is a tireless excavator. The fish and the shrimp share this subterranean home in a remarkable pact of mutual survival. The shrimp is almost completely blind. To navigate its world, it must maintain constant contact with its sighted companion via its long antennae. This partnership is a model of efficiency. The fish provides the eyes, the shrimp provides the home. The slightest twitch from the sentry is the signal, and both retreat into the safety of the burrow. Other hunters use different methods to find mollusks and crustaceans. Some will forcefully blow water to expose them. Others simply dig, relentlessly. To escape the persistent search of a stingray, a creature must bury itself deep within the sand. The ray will patiently excavate, its powerful fins acting like shovels, until its hidden meal is finally uncovered. The ray's digging creates an opportunity for smaller, opportunistic fish, who rush in to consume the tiny creatures suspended in the cloudy water. Off the coast of Australia, the vast sandy plains become the stage for one of the ocean's most peculiar and spectacular gatherings. Spider crabs, creatures that typically lead solitary lives in the deep, are traveling towards a very specific and urgent appointment. In a few days, they will undergo one of the most critical moments of their lives. They must molt. They have to shed their old, constricting exoskeletons to allow their bodies to grow. But for a few crucial hours after molting, their new bodies will be soft, pliable, and utterly defenseless. A lone, vulnerable crab is easily targeted, pinned down and consumed by predators. Their only hope for survival is to gather in overwhelming numbers, a strategy of safety and density. Day after day, new arrivals join the ever-growing congregation. Soon, millions of crabs are piled on top of one another, a sprawling, shifting mountain of life. And then, as quickly as they arrived, they will depart, leaving the sandy plain silent and seemingly empty once more. The stonefish is a clumsy swimmer, but that does not stop it from being one of the sand's most formidable assassins. Its body doesn't just resemble a rock, it is a masterpiece of natural camouflage. It becomes part of the landscape. Its strategy is one of absolute patience. The smaller inhabitants of the sand flat go about their daily, peaceful existence. A hermit crab wanders by, searching for its next meal or a new home. Another climbs atop what it perceives to be a simple, algae-covered stone. It is, in fact, climbing on the stonefish itself. The predator is perfectly integrated into its surroundings, a seamless part of the terrain. Its eyes, perfectly disguised, peer out, observing everything while it remains perfectly still. It is entirely undetectable. The wait can last for hours, sometimes even days, a testament to the efficiency of ambush hunting. Eventually, its extraordinary patience is rewarded. As night falls, a profound transformation occurs. The seemingly empty sandy plains become a bustling metropolis. Each resident emerges, moving to its own rhythm, propelled by its own unique method of locomotion. The sea urchin travels on the tips of its spines, supporting its body as if walking on a forest of stilts. Dozens of these long, hollow spines provide both mobility and defense, allowing it to climb and traverse the uneven terrain. The fire urchin, adorned with vibrant color, is also an adept climber. The ways of walking on the seabed are as varied as life itself. The imperial shrimp moves with a series of continuous backward motions, its jointed legs propelling it forward in a delicate, rhythmic dance. A close relative of the urchin, the sea star glides across the seafloor on a hidden network of hundreds of tiny, suction-cup tube feet. The spider conch has only a single, muscular foot, but it is more than sufficient for its travels, propelling it in a series of hops. Nature's laboratory has truly produced a stunning variety of forms. There are even fish that have adapted to walk on four leg-like fins. On the seabed, every inhabitant is bound by the fundamental constraint of gravity, tethered to the floor. The scallop, over long ages of evolution, has invented a form of jet propulsion to navigate its world. For the mimic octopus, there is no need to hurry. It proceeds with a deliberate, unhurried gait, walking elegantly on the tips of its arms. Before the light of dawn returns, the nocturnal creatures must once again retreat, seeking refuge within the sand. But one remarkable octopus has learned to leave the ocean floor behind, to defy the very pull of gravity. To embark on its journey of conquest, the paper nautilus, or argonaut, hides a secret within its mantle, a bubble of air captured from the water's surface. Now buoyant, the argonaut unfurls its magnificent, iridescent sails, delicate, silken membranes that catch the subtle currents. Once destined to crawl upon the seafloor, this octopus has evolved the ability to fly through the water column, a singular achievement in its entire family. If attacked, the argonaut deploys a cloud of black ink. It then cleverly detaches a small piece of its sail, a decoy to confuse the pursuer while it makes its escape. Other strange animals walk the seabed today in a manner almost identical to their ancestors from 500 million years ago. The horseshoe crab is a true living fossil, a direct link to the planet's deep past. Only at night, and for just one precious period each year, do they leave the ocean to perform the ancient ritual of reproduction. Their eyes are simple and primitive, able to discern little more than movement and basic shapes. But this is enough to locate their companions, whether by the light of day or the darkness of night. They lay their eggs in the damp sand. 6 weeks later, a high tide will wash the tiny, newly hatched horseshoe crabs back into the sea. The leatherback, the largest of all sea turtles, carries with it a heavy legacy from its terrestrial ancestors, the burden of its own weight. To continue her lineage, she must perform an incredible feat of strength and endurance. She must haul her 500-kilogram body ashore. Here, far from the reach of the tide, she will excavate a nest in the dry sand for her precious eggs. Within the incubating warmth of the sand, the next generation of turtles will begin to develop. The life of a sea turtle is inextricably linked to the sand. Without these beaches, there would be no more turtles. Whether beneath the waves or beyond the shoreline, the sand provides a crucial, though not always perfect, place of concealment. Many predators have learned to locate these hidden nests, unearthing the turtle eggs no matter how deeply they are buried. Her task complete, the mother leatherback returns to the ocean. Exhausted from her efforts, she will not return to lay eggs again for several years. After the tide recedes, the beach reveals a quiet and extraordinary performance, a ballet of sand and survival. Ghost crabs emerge with each new tide, tirelessly working to rebuild the burrows that serve as their refuge. They must also defend these homes fiercely, for other ghost crabs are always waiting to claim an undefended burrow. This arduous work, the constant cycle of construction and defense, will be completed in just a few hours. After months of incubation in the warm sand, the eggs of the green sea turtle begin to hatch. Before they can taste freedom, each tiny hatchling must first push its way through 50 centimeters of dense sand. Now, they are driven by a single, overwhelming instinct, to reach the sea as quickly as possible. For the hatchlings that emerge during the day, there is virtually no chance of escaping the keen eyes of the frigate birds circling above. Fortunately, most turtles hatch under the cover of darkness. Even so, they must overcome 1,000 other perils before they can reach adulthood. By then, they will have grown large enough to be safe from nearly all predators. The turtle will now become a host itself, carrying traveling companions like the remora fish on its long journeys. As an adult, the green sea turtle leads a peaceful, herbivorous existence, a life that can span up to 80 years. The grasses the green turtle is grazing upon are not like those of a terrestrial meadow. They are succulent, fat-rich marine plants that grow in the mud and sand of the shallow ocean floor. Not far away, in a similar pasture of seagrass, a group of enormous remoras busily attend to a strange and gentle giant. The dugong. It is another of the sea's great grazers, and the ocean's only truly herbivorous mammal. It lives and forages in the vast seagrass meadows of the world's tropical waters. 50 million years ago, the dugong's land-dwelling ancestors made the momentous decision to return to the sea. Over millennia, its hind legs disappeared, and its tail transformed into a broad, powerful fluke. Its front legs evolved into stabilizing flippers. Yet, the dugong still uses these flippers much like legs, to walk along the seabed as it grazes. Today, the closest living relative of the dugong is, remarkably, the elephant. Dugongs once gathered in vast herds, but relentless hunting has decimated their populations. Today, the dugong is perilously close to extinction. Only a few remote places on Earth are left where one can still witness the magnificent sight of a large dugong gathering. The mantis shrimp. We still know very little about the purpose of its spectacular coloration. Its eyes, some of the most complex in the animal kingdom, shimmer with an otherworldly light. It is fiercely protective of the burrow it has excavated and meticulously maintains in the sand. Another species of mantis shrimp stands guard at the entrance to its home. The mantis shrimp is intensely territorial. It is always prepared to attack any intruder that approaches its burrow, regardless of the opponent's size. This is especially true for an octopus, which is perfectly shaped to invade and occupy its home. Once the danger has passed, it diligently cleans its remarkable eyes. These complex visual organs are what make it such a formidable sentry. If a mantis shrimp is unable to dig its own burrow, a simple empty shell becomes a highly coveted and fiercely contested piece of real estate. The sarcastic fringehead is a ferocious and pugnacious fighter. The loser must relinquish its territory and seek shelter elsewhere. The Asian sheepshead wrasse must also engage in a dramatic battle for dominance. The victor of this brutal contest wins sole dominion over the territory and the right to court a visiting female. He follows her closely. His display is extravagant. The courtship culminates in a synchronized ascent towards the surface to release their eggs and sperm. Hidden amongst the sand and seagrass, a crocodile fish lies in perfect camouflage. Even its eyes are patterned to mimic the surrounding grains of sand. In contrast, a seahorse becomes easily detectable when it leaves the cover of the seagrass to forage in the open. But upon returning to the dense foliage of the algae, it becomes nearly invisible once more. The leafy sea dragon has evolved the art of mimicry to its absolute zenith. Its body is adorned with elaborate, leaf-like appendages, making its color and shape almost indistinguishable from the surrounding seaweed. Even its gentle, swaying motion perfectly replicates the movement of the plants as they are stirred by the ocean currents. Its imitation is so perfect that it seems a captive of its own disguise. It is only when it decides to move that its true nature is revealed. The giant cuttlefish is also a master of blending in with its environment. But it takes camouflage a step further, capable of changing its shape, its color, and the very texture of its skin. And it can do so in an instant. These constant, rippling transformations also serve as a form of communication, expressing his intense interest in a nearby female. It is the mating season, and the male stands guard over the precious eggs that the female has carefully hidden beneath a rock. The male is a vigilant protector, bravely driving away any rivals who approach from any direction. Though this doesn't prevent him from showing a passing interest in other females who happen to swim by. When the situation with a persistent rival becomes tense, he will even use his own body to shield his chosen mate. He makes his intentions clear to the attacker, his skin flashing with patterns that signal extreme agitation. This is a true language of color. Each chromatophore, or color cell, in his skin can darken or lighten in response to his level of excitement. For this single, vital opportunity to reproduce, the cuttlefish will expend all of its life's energy. At the end of the mating season, their bodies exhausted, they will all perish. That is, unless a predator finds them first. The elephant fish returns from the deep ocean to the broad sandy plains specifically to reproduce. It is a close relative of sharks and rays, a member of the ancient cartilaginous fishes. It gets its name from its strange, trunk-like snout, which is covered in sensory pores. This specialized organ allows it to detect the faint electrical signals of prey hidden in the sand. It possesses other surprising features as well. The male has a retractable, club-like appendage on its head, which it uses to grasp the female during mating. The elephant fish swims unlike any other fish. Its body is rigid, like a plank of wood. To propel itself, it flaps its large pectoral fins like a bird beating its wings. It seems to fly over the seagrass meadows. After breeding, it will return to the crushing darkness of the deep sea, where it spends the majority of its life. The stingray lacks the elephant fish's peculiar snout, but it possesses a similar sensory organ array across its underside. This allows it to detect the faintest electrical impulses from the muscle contractions of prey hidden within the dense seagrass. These underwater meadows of algae and seagrass can cover vast areas of the seafloor. In this strange and vertical forest, the leaves are not true leaves. The stems are not true stems. And the roots are not true roots. The forest is anchored to the rocks by a structure called a holdfast, and it reaches for the sunlit surface with the help of thousands of tiny, gas-filled bladders. Unlike terrestrial trees that draw nutrients from the soil, the kelp forest has no need for a complex root system. The entire forest is constantly bathed in nutrient-rich seawater. Every single cell of the kelp plant can directly absorb the mineral salts it needs to survive from the surrounding water. Some animals, like the sea fan, have gone to great lengths to disguise themselves as plants. The water here is so rich with sustenance that they have no need to move. Anchored to a rock, the sea fan simply sways in the current, waiting for the flow of water to deliver the microorganisms on which it feeds. In this world, the lines between plant and animal often blur. At the edge of the kelp forest, a formidable predator patrols the boundary. The great white shark is on the hunt. But its great size prevents it from entering the dense, tangled labyrinth of the kelp forest itself. Here, seals can find a safe refuge. Within its protective embrace, a diverse community finds shelter. Each resident is busy establishing its own niche, finding its own way to hide, even when concealment is not strictly necessary. The Garibaldi fish fearlessly displays its brilliant, eye-catching colors, a luxury afforded by the forest's safety. Within this maze of towering kelp, there is little danger of a sudden ambush. The electric ray fears no predator. A single, powerful electric shock is enough to paralyze even the largest of fish. In the heart of the labyrinth, sea lions play with a quiet, leisurely grace. Great white sharks and orcas are their only true predators, but their massive bodies are too large to risk navigating the dense kelp. Here, the residents are free to frolic and play without fear. The kelp forest provides a complete, three-dimensional world, a safe haven for all the animals that live within its protective canopy. The sea otter can rest peacefully, cradled in a bed of aquatic plants. The otter's insatiable appetite for crustaceans forces it to venture into the most turbulent and challenging waters to find food. Even the most difficult shells to open, or the most stubbornly attached mollusks, cannot deter its voracious appetite. The sea otter is the only marine mammal known to use tools. It uses a carefully selected rock as an anvil to smash open the hard shells of its prey, while a seal can rest comfortably in the frigid water, protected by a thick layer of blubber. The sea otter has no such insulation. It must rely on something else entirely to survive the cold. Its survival depends on the meticulous care of its fur. The quality of the sea otter's coat is extraordinary. It is the densest of any animal, with over 100,000 hairs. This luxurious fur, which is so critical to its survival, also attracted the greed of hunters, who brought the species to the brink of extinction. The safety of the kelp forest was not enough to protect them from the threat of humanity. For a century now, the sea otter has been a protected species. Yet, it remains dangerously close to disappearing forever. Golden jellyfish rarely venture through the dense barrier of the kelp, as its delicate bells could easily become tangled or torn. But on the calmest of days, these fragile creatures will risk a journey of several hours into the coastal world. They make brief contact with the inhabitants of the coast, with the life of the sand and the forest. From the dark abyss to the vast open ocean, they are part of a kingdom that has reigned supreme in the sea for millions of years.